Ah, shit, it's Tuesday night. You know that's right. So sit back, pour yourself a stiff one, crack yourself a cold one, and roll yourself a green one, and sit back and relax because it's shooting the shit uncensored, baby! With Piers Austin, the bald, the beard, the beautiful Piers Austin, and we are brought to you live by the MWA Podcast Network, which we're now on Twitch, people. So head over to twitch.tv/MWA World and follow us over there as well. Oh, that was a mouthful trying to get it out, guys. Before I bring out my awesome guest, Xena, the three-time FWA Women's Champion, I just want to take a quick second, a quick pause, a quick moment to thank some sponsors. First up is A-Rock Designs. Now, A-Rock Designs is that company that you've seen all over the wrestling Facebook groups, the wrestling pages, the Instagram stories, the Twitter posts. They make custom wrestling cups, hoodies, T-shirts, keychains, tumblers. You know, they made me this custom CM Punk tumbler. I absolutely love this thing. This thing like keeps all of my cold drinks really, really icy cold, hot drinks nice and hot. Absolutely amazing. My next sponsor is Signal Studios. Now, Signal Studios is that recording studio based in Sydney, Australia. So if you're an independent professional wrestler, you need to get your hands on some new entrance music. My boy Rafi from Signal Studios can hook that shit up. He can mix, master, produce, and send that track out anywhere in the world. Now, also, if you want to do some music with a band, you can find the Cicadas Band, who provide my entrance music to this lovely show that we do every single week. Make sure you hit them up and follow them as well. But guys, look, I can see a few people here in the chat. We got the same local scoundrels out there. We got Josh Tattersall, mate. I hope you're doing well. All the best with your health there, buddy. Kyle, Joel. Geez, man, you guys come out in droves tonight. But look, without any further ado, I'm going to bring out my guest, the lovely Xena. Xena, thanks for coming on. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good. You?
I'm pretty good. Just, just getting over the whole Easter long weekend and overeating and too many chocolates and that sort of stuff. So,
same. I'm like contemplating, like with this inverted camera, which side I should sit on, but it's okay. Let's go.
It's okay. We'll get past it. So,
but
how was your?
We're not going to get past it. We're not going to get past this.
How was your Easter break? Did you get hang out with family or eat lots?
Yeah, it was just a big family gathering. I think I put on like 2 kilos, which I'm working off now. But yeah, it was good. It was a good break to just not count calories and eat for a bit. I'm not going to complain.
100%. It was actually a nice little break from work and the grind, and I got 2 young kids and another one on the way, and they all got so.
Oh, are you
spoiled,
a dad?
So I am a dad. I got a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and in about a few weeks I'll have another one on here. So
that's cute. How exciting!
Yeah, exciting. But it's always busy. So, but Xena,
you're gonna get them into wrestling.
Absolutely. You know what? I've tried to take my son to shows. Like I was I was trying to get to an FWA show on a Sunday, and I'm like, "Hey, buddy, you want to come watch wrestling?" And he's like, he's like, "Are people going to get hurt?" I'm like, "No, dude, they won't get hurt." And he's like, "It's going to be loud though." Nah, I don't think so. I'm like, "Damn it!"
There's so many kids at FWA that come and watch us there. It's like a cute family show.
My daughter, who's the youngest at the moment, she's so keen to come to a show. She's like.
No, Siri, get out.
No, you're there.
Hold up. Sorry. Siri took over. I don't know why.
Damn Siri. She always jumps in when she's not wanted.
Yeah. Wow.
But no, my daughter's actually keen to come to a show, so I'm definitely going to try and bring her along and try and sway them, try and play WrestleMania 5 and stuff like that, like old school wrestling to get them into it. So
I think our next show is May 8th and May 9.
Oh, nice. So it's a double header weekend, is it?
Yeah,
right.
So you can choose.
You know what? I might try and bring him down to both. But you know what? I was actually interested, because I was doing a bit of research on you, and you actually got into wrestling after attending local shows. Was that like your first experience to professional wrestling? Like, were you not?
My first experience was watching professional wrestling with my siblings, and we were just like, how do we get into it? Like, it's so American, like there's nothing in Sydney. And in Liverpool they'll hand out flyers for PWA, and then it was like tickets back then were like $5. Like this was 10 years ago. We're talking.
Yeah.
Anyways, we rocked up to shows and we just became regular members at their shows. And then when they first had their tryouts, it's when I tried out. And I was meant to try it with my sister, but we both walked in and she goes to me, Xena, I'm too fat for this. I can't do this. And I'm like, what? Because we always pictured ourselves as like the Hardy brothers, but we wanted to be the female versions.
Yeah, yeah.
But just me. You get half of them.
Good gimmick. So your sister just was like the tryout was just like, did she try out at least, or was she just like, no?
She didn't try out. No, that's the funny part. We walked in and they were doing warm-ups and it was like all like jumping and then like squatting and go down, and she's like no.
Was she athletic at all? No. Like was she into
She had potential. She had potential is the word I'd use. She wasn't as athletic as I was growing up, but she was very invested in wrestling. So the potential was there.
So how does she feel now, like seeing you being performing on shows? Is it like, does she go, oh, I still want to do it? Or is she like, no, I'm just like happy to be a supportive sister? Yeah,
she's more on the supportive side now. She's like a mom now with kids. So she's settled. I'm next in line to get married and have kids, but we don't want that yet.
Oh, 100%. But
I'll just be a good auntie.
Exactly. As someone who has kids, like it's great having them, but like the changes that happens in your life, like I have friends who don't have kids. It's like, yeah, why can't you just come out and have drinks tonight? It's like, I have these little humans that I can't leave by themselves, so
yeah.
But as far as like, was it the live show that really grabbed you into wanting to try it, thinking like, okay, I believe I can do this, as this is something that's in my backyard?
Live shows were always so much extra than what we were watching on TV. Like on TV, there was so much character stuff going on, where like live shows, it was more physical wrestling.
Yeah.
And then like someone would do a 619 and I'd pop for it, or like a super kick and I'd pop for it. Like you name any move right in front of me, I'd be like cheering. But yeah, it was more, I think in the moment I was like, I want to wrestle. Like I want to flip. I'm still trying to flip though. I can't flip, but I can wrestle.
Trying to learn how to flip. So as far as like going in and going to the tryout, was it what you imagined what it would have been, or was it like you walked out there going, holy fuck, that was like something unimaginable?
Actually, something interesting. I think when we were watching the live shows, I was 15, 16, and we couldn't wrestle or train till we were 18 without parents' like permission, and my parents are like totally against it. So what I done for 2 years, I was boxing at PCYC. So I got myself into some kind of shape to prepare myself for like the in-ring cardio and stuff. So after the first session, I wasn't too shocked, only because I was used to being in like an environment where people were training together. Like when people get nervous walking into an environment that like, I don't know how to put it, but like it gives them a disadvantage kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that makes sense. But yeah, I don't know. I'm blabbing on. Yeah, go.
No, but I think it makes sense, because if you go in there nervous and you've got so much going on through your head, you're not focusing on what you have to actually go through.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing. If you have that level of nerves, you sort of really got to have a bit of confidence as well, or you have to have a lot of confidence to do what you guys do.
Yeah, especially. I think I was like my first like boxing session. The lady that was training me chucked me in the ring with like maybe 20-year-old guy, and she's like spar, and I've never sparred in my life. And then at the end of the session, the next day I came back. She's like to me, you know why I threw you in the ring like that? And I'm like, why? It was like a cute sentimental moment. And she's like, because I wanted to see if like you were a fighter, if you'd like come back after a session like that.
Yeah.
She's like, so many people come and go, like, I need to invest my time in you. I need to know if you're like worthy. And then like every time I sign up for stuff, like I'm 100% like putting my all in it. And I think everyone needs to kind of have that mentality where if you're going to do something, put 100% into it.
Yeah, I agree with that, because a lot of times, like, if you have a goal that you want to achieve, you have to put 100% into it, because if you do it and you put 100% into it and you failed, you can at least say that you tried and you gave it your best. If you go in there and do it at like 20%, you know what I mean? Like you didn't even show up. You know what I mean? Like you've got to be able to have
it's
that.
all a mental game as well. It's like all mental. Like everything seems so scary, but once you're there, like just take a deep breath. Like, that makes sense. I don't know. I think I've lapped on too much off topic.
No, not at all. Not at all. This is what this show is. It's shooting the shit uncensored. You know, we go into all sorts of shit on this show. But yeah, as far as like taking that first bump, how did that feel? How did the body feel after taking the first bump? Was it like, oh my God, I want to do more of this? Or like, ow,
honestly, I literally can't remember. But I think when COVID hit, I hadn't bumped for a year. And then I rocked up to training and I could bump like perfectly fine. And I'm just like, I miss this. I don't know. I love putting my body through torture, especially like when you wake up 2 days later or like the next day and you're in pain. That's when you know you like bumped good.
Yeah, but you know what? Like I have a background in boxing and MMA, and it was the same thing. Whenever you have like a really hard session the next day,
like, and you feel it the next day.
100%. Yeah, it's like, okay, fuck, I know that was a good one last night, you know. So
yeah.
But as far as like, you know, the way that you train now that you're a few years in the business, you know, have you altered that? Like as far as like, you know, how you train outside of wrestling for wrestling? Like, you know, obviously wrestling's a very cosmetic business. And I'm assuming for women, it's probably, you know, 10 times more than what it is for men. But like, do you find that your training style has changed over the years that you have been wrestling?
It definitely has. When you're at a school, they train the same 30 people training with you, the same moves, the same lockup. So you always want to, I don't know, stand out in the crowd. During COVID, I took my training to the next level. I started going to ninja training places. And I don't know if you know what this place is called, but it's Invincible. And that's where I'm learning how to flip. So I'm going to learn how to flip soon.
So and like all these parkour type flipping or?
Parkour, yeah, that's the whole place. It's like parkour, it's like jiu-jitsu, everything, you know, like the fancy kicks you see on like stunt movies. So I want to incorporate that into my movesets. I think that'd be cool for me. And I've been lifting pretty heavy, so I'll stand out.
There you go. Yeah, get bulked and fly and flip around as well.
Exactly.
So, was the high flying style always something that you were drawn to as a fan?
Yeah, I've always wanted to be a high flyer, but I've tried moonsaulting and I look like a cat reaching for the ground when I like go backwards. It's terrible.
Oh, it's, you know what, like I see a lot of like high flying moves and I've always been a fan of it, like for cruiserweights and stuff. But for me, it's like I have no like coordination. Like I just sit there and go, imagine me trying to do that. I'd be like, I'd just end up breaking my damn neck. Like this is ridiculous.
That's like me as well. That's like me as well. But I'm so like stubborn. Like I went to the place and signed up and I'm like, hey, you're going to teach me how to flip to my trainers there. And they were like, cool, easy. And I'm like, no, it's not easy. But yeah, I think it'll be worth it if I put the effort in.
Like, do you want to be like doing like 450 splashes or like what, like, to what extent do you really want to take it? Like,
I'd be happy with a moonsault at this stage, but 450, like I'll take whatever I can get.
You know what?
We're not going to be picky here.
So how long have you been wrestling for? Like how many years have you been in it?
Training started when I was 18, so I'll be going to my 6th year now.
Yeah, right. And as far as like, you know, when you started, you know, actually getting out there and wrestling, who was your first match against and how did it go?
Oh, hold up. Let me remember. Can't remember what I done yesterday. Gosh. Actually, look what happened to my eye yesterday. Hold up. Where is it? The side?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
My training, extra training. My first match was actually in a Rumble.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And
that's how I got introduced. It was fun. I don't think I had wrestling gear, so I just put on like some super tights, crop top. hit Kai Drake with a kendo stick for who knows what reason. I can't remember. It was 6 years ago.
That's all right. It's,
Yeah.
take it out on Kai. Everyone seems to do that.
Yeah. It was like a good introduction, I guess, to like ease me in.
Oh, 100%. And when was the first singles match? How far after that were you, like, from the Rumble was that for you?
I think it was like the next show, maybe like a month.
Okay. And how did that match go?
Honestly, can't remember. It was okay. It was like a quick, easy 5-6 minute match, only because I was still new. They didn't want to throw me into like anything too deep, but yeah.
Yeah, like no 60-minute Broadways or anything like that.
I'd love to do that though, but no.
You know what? With the talent that's in Australia, like that, those sort of matches could absolutely be done really, really well.
Yeah, that's true.
Like from the mixture of talent with the men and women in this country, like from the shows I've seen, absolutely, like it's absolutely possible. So, but as far as like making it and breaking into the wrestling, how did you find like going from other promotions or to other promotions and trying to get booked? Was that something of like more networking with people, or did you just sort of have to turn up at shows and be like, "Hey, I'm here. Can I have a match?" Or like, if you need me?
I think in Sydney it was more rocking up to shows, helping out with ring crew, kind of paying your dues to get booked. But overseas, not overseas, interstate, I think we got lucky. We had like promos going around, so people were watching us and wanting us on their show. So they actually contacted us. So that was sick. I was going to swear and say fucking sick, but that was sick.
You can say that. You can say fucking sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like to get booked to go like interstate would be a massive accomplishment.
Yeah,
I
but
think,
also I feel like it's a bit different with females and males, only because there's not enough females out there, so they need females as well. So they're always scouting for female talent elsewhere, if that makes sense.
like bringing like females in from other states and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think women's wrestling over the last few years, and I've said this before on previous shows, that women's wrestling has really become to the forefront of pro wrestling. Where it's like now we're seeing women headlining, WWE pay-per-views, whereas like 10, 15 years ago, that was
nothing.
It was barely like a women's match on a card,
I know, but I miss the bra and panty matches.
Well, that was in the peak when I was a teenager, to be honest with you, and I was a fan as well, at 15 years of age, surprisingly enough.
We love women's wrestling, but wrestling was also very entertaining back then with the women. They weren't treated fairly though, but I don't know how to say it, but they walked so we could wrestle.
Yeah, look, I think it as well, like it comes down to the time as well in history, whereas that was very Jerry Springer, jackass sort of, you know what I mean? Like that real sort of in your face aggressive culture. Whereas like now I think the world has sort of learned, hey, this is not really appropriate for 10-year-olds to be watching.
If they'd done anything they'd done 10, 15 years ago, they'll get cancelled in a heartbeat.
Like, I feel like if I said to my wife, hey, I want to put this wrestling show on for my kids to watch, like WWE today compared to what it was like in 1999, like my wife would have a conniption, and and I think a lot of other parents would as well. So I think, not just in wrestling, but I think the world has just evolved to be a little bit more, open to what it can be as opposed to just being what it is as far as like bra and panties matches go. But as far as like intergender wrestling, like that's something that we've seen, really take off in the last 5+ years itself as well. I love
intergender wrestling.
Yeah. What, like intergender wrestling, I was never a fan of, but like I find to be able to sit back and now, like after seeing a couple of really good intergender matches, I could actually go, oh wait, no, I can appreciate good wrestling here. Like this is, it is what it is. It's a show. Appreciate what's in front of you.
Yeah. I guess it all comes down to the story they try telling as well. Oh no, wait. Did I cut out?
No,
Am I back on? Oh,
you're
yeah.
good. You're good. But yeah, I agree with you. Like, it depends on the story that they're going in there and telling. But as far as like, was there ever a moment for you where you were like, I don't feel comfortable with wrestling a man, or were you just always like, I'm happy to wrestle whoever?
No, if I'm in the ring with a man, I'm punching him like I'm a dude. Like, honestly, I have a few matches coming up. One's an intergender match, and I'm going to hit him like a man. Like,
Who's that
I'm
match
very
up against?
aggressive. I'm very aggressive like that. Jason Dewhurst hasn't been announced yet, but it's going to be announced soon, so it's okay.
Yeah, right. So I think Jason Dewhurst fought Kellyanne on the last FWA show, if I'm correct.
Yes.
Yeah, that I'm actually looking forward to seeing that show. It sounds like it'd be a lot of fun, but you're ready to
I'm
take
gonna
his
make
head
him
off by the sounds of
cry.
it.
Honestly, he can take her as well. That's the best part.
Oh, 100%, and as far as like, wrestling, and going around and with COVID being shut down, and you mentioned, not taking a bump for a month, like for 12 months. How was it to finally get back in and start doing shows post COVID for you?
I think the COVID break was good for me. That was like a lot of me time. I went and explored nature, blah 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 blah. But coming back was very exciting. I needed content for my Instagram. I had no content. But just being in the ring, especially at FWA, I got like a welcome back chant. Like, the fans were just like so supportive of me coming back, and I'm like, oh, I love this place so much. I love wrestling. They make me love wrestling.
I think that, that emotion of as well of not doing something that you really enjoy doing for a period like a calendar year would be so like overwhelming emotionally, like when you're out there doing it. Was that sort of the feeling that you had? Was this emotion of just like, fuck yeah, like I've really missed this?
Yeah. Every time I wrestle, I'm just like, it's still so surreal to me that I wrestle, if that makes sense. So not just post-COVID, every time I'm in the ring, I'm like, fuck, I'm wrestling today. Like, I'm a wrestler. Yeah. Because I used to like watch wrestlers, and now like when I tell people, they'll be like, that's so cool. And I'm like, yeah, it is fucking cool. Like,
Oh, 100%. Like, that's the coolest thing. Like, I can just imagine like if I went to work and someone was like, hey, what'd you do on the weekend? And they were like, oh yeah, I'm a wrestler. I wrestled a show. I'd be like, first of all, I have so many questions. But I feel like
when people tell me it's cool, I'm like, yeah, it is fucking cool. Like, I am a wrestler, bro. Like, it's still surreal to me, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And, for you, when you broke into wrestling, was your goal to go to WWE? Was your goal to sort of go overseas, or was your goal just to get in there and have a match and then make more goals as your career went on?
When I like first started training, I reckon everyone's goal is like WWE, but then you find out about like Stardom and like different promotions, and you're like, you want to travel, you want to do this before you get like stuck in one place. So I feel like for me right now, like going to Stardom or anything in Japan, just for the experience and to like work on my wrestling kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then like maybe move to the, we're not going to be picky. I'm going to take what I can get. That's like what attitude I love having.
So it's like, no, I'm going to WWE. Sorry, New Japan. Sorry, AEW.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Like, I'll be happy with any company. Like, I want to be that wrestler that can work in any company, if that makes sense, and put on a good show, have a good match, and be a good worker.
Yeah, and as you were saying about doing training and evolving your style into being able to do more flips and hard kicks and incorporating that into your repertoire, it's just other things that can expose you or give you that exposure to other promotions where it's like, oh, you need someone to do this. Well, Xena can do, you know what I mean? Like it can sort of be more adaptable for a lot of people.
Yeah, exactly.
But, as far as like, getting in and when you started training, who you watched as a performer from major companies, did you start to go through, like, I think it's like when musicians like get into making music and then they start listening to other types of music that they really never heard of before. Did you really sort of, once you got into wrestling, expand, trying to find more wrestling to watch, different styles, different, genres of wrestling, and how much of that was like spent for you studying wise?
Usually when I do my cardio sessions at the gym, like I'll put on wrestling shows, and a lot of them are wrestlers that I know. So like Brian Cage, like I'll be like, hey, like, can you send me some good wrestling matches to watch? So I was like picking the veterans' minds, and like they watch my stories and they'll be like, hey, watch this person, watch that person. Recently though, what's his name? Oh, give me 1 second.
Oh, good.
So, have you watched me wrestle?
Yes.
I posted like a chopping clip on my story once, and then someone replied back and gave me a list of Japanese wrestlers to watch. And like these Japanese wrestlers evolve like their whole wrestling match around like chops and strikes.
Yeah.
So like I'm just like still learning and like finding all these new talents. Some are like from 1992, Misawa versus Kawada. Yeah. I don't know if I'm saying their names right.
Did you say Misawa?
Misawa.
Yeah, no, Misawa's cool.
So there's a lot of Japanese wrestlers that I didn't even know existed, and like people are telling me to watch them, and I'm watching them and I'm learning, and yeah.
But the
Japanese, like every time
I was just going to say the Japanese wrestling style is so broad and wild. Like you can see Dragon Gate compared to like New Japan is like, holy shit, this is like filmed in the same suburb pretty much, so
exactly. Yeah. So I'm still learning in terms of like finding new talent, like who to watch. Yeah. No. I'm open to anything.
But as far as like character and building your character, how did that go about? Like, did you have like a set plan of who you wanted Xena to be, how you wanted to present, yourself as the character, from the way that you walk to the ring, from, taunts and everything like that? Was there always a thought out plan on how you wanted to be perceived in this character?
I think my character's still evolving. I don't know if you've watched Lucifer. Have you seen Lucifer? You know Mazikeen?
Yep.
I wanted to be a spitting image of Mazikeen, but the fans liked it. Like, they like me being a bitch, me having deadly weapons. So I'm just like, oh, you like me being a bitch. Like, I don't know, I'll work with it, but this is just me. So it's still a work in progress, but there's something there.
Yeah, and obviously, you're saying that your character is like the bitch, so I'm assuming that you really enjoy being the heel and being the antagonist.
Yeah, but I get cheated for being the heel, so am I a heel? No.
Well, I don't know. Well, is there? Well, you know what? Like, I think for a long time though, being a heel has been cool for a lot of, like, you know what I mean? Like, you look at like NXT and see, like, when Undisputed Era was coming out, they were supposed to be heels, but they were the most over thing on the show.
Yeah.
So, they're getting the big reactions. So I think there's wrestling is like, there's people like
both ways. Yeah.
I think it's more like, like a real fight fans, where like a UFC fight fans, like there's fans of John Jones, there's fans of DC, and the opposing fans hate the other, so it's kind of like,
and you can kind of like, call yourself a heel, but once you're out of the ring getting cheated for, you're not really the heel. Like, the fans love you. You need to work with it.
Oh, 100%. I think, if it's a heel that you're going to be, you've got to be a heel, throughout. So, like, I've got friends that wrestle over in the States, and, they've told me, when they go in, like, how they were trained is like, no, you're a heel. You have to be a heel the whole time. Like, from the moment you get to the building to the moment you leave, he goes, man, like, I had guys pulling knives on us in Tennessee and shit like that. I'm like, See, that's what I'd be like. I'd be running out there going, no,
Yeah.
kayfabe, bro. It's all good. No, we're good here, mate. No. Like,
You're exposing wrestling.
yeah, exposing the business, bro. No, I'm really sweethearted person. Thank you. No,
Yeah.
so, but I think as well, it's different, like depths of it as well. Whereas, like, I think heels can still be, that sort of level of heated, but after the shows, the fans have that respect for the performer.
Yeah, unless it's a drunk crowd, then things get messy. But yeah, let's not talk that.
Have you had bad experiences with drunk crowds in the past?
I think we only had one, and the guy got kicked out, so it wasn't too bad.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like I found, like at wrestling shows, much like going to music shows and stuff like that, is like most people are really cool, and there's people that do want to be dickheads. They usually get ushered out very quickly.
Like, I feel like in Sydney, majority of the people will watch a wrestling show to like chill, get drunk, but not like be there for wrestling, if that makes sense. Or just need to work with them, I guess.
I think it depends on the venue as well, and like how it's been advertised. And it's like if you go to certain promotions, it's like you're going to get a whole building full of people are there for the show. If you go to a show which is on a smaller scale, they're just there because they saw a sign and they want to walk in and watch a wrestling show. But even then, those crowds can usually be pretty wild as well. So, but it's crazy. But you were wrestling for PWA for a while, and now you sort of haven't wrestled for PWA for a while. Was there a reason why there was a split there, or was it just like time for you to sort of go and focus on other promotions working for at the time?
I feel like PWA was a good start for me, but I've been given opportunities. Hopefully they come out in the next month. So I've been like working different promotions now. I've been getting a push on FWA, which works in my favor for my goals. So I have my set goals, and
I feel like there's something you're going to drop in the next couple of months. Like, and I'm sitting here just like going, I wonder what's they're holding out on me. We'll have to wait and see.
I can't feel anything, I know. But what drops in the next month will set me aside from every wrestler in Sydney, Australia, and the country. So I'm excited for it. So I've got my own agenda, and
and that's important. Wrestling, isn't really a team sport. It's an individual thing, and you have to do what's right for you at the end of the day to get your career to those next levels. And it's at times wrestling can be a political place, and it's just you've got to play the game sometimes in order to get past that next stage, really. So, but as far as FWA, like FWA shows really seem like a lot of fun. And as far as like, getting in there and wrestling, every month with FWA, and now you were mentioning before you've got a double header coming up on what was the May 8th and 9th you were saying?
Yeah.
So May 8th and 9th. And, with those shows coming up, like obviously, how's it feeling to be, is this the first double header post-COVID for you for a wrestling weekend?
Yes, it is. And it's good because usually I wrestle once a month now, but this double weekend will be fun. I can't wait to wake up in the morning on Monday with a sore body.
And where are the shows at? Are they in the same place?
I think they're in Dural. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So FWA running back-to-back shows in May. That's going to be, quite the adventure. So, you mentioned you were facing Jay DeWurst on the first night. Yep. Yeah. And can you say who you're facing?
First night is Erica Reed.
Nice.
And second night, Jason Dewhurst. Yeah. So I'm excited.
Yeah, excellent. And as far as like where you're at now in wrestling, like how do you, what are you now sort of focused on, moving forward? Like, being, the women's champion of FWA, and I think being a champion in a promotion, it really puts a lot of stock in the performer of saying, hey, we believe that you are the face of this championship for now, that you can bring fans into this, building into these shows. Do you feel that being a champion in today's current format in wrestling is still a big responsibility like it was years prior?
I'll say it is. I've built a relationship with the FWA fans. They've seen me since day one. And I think when I came back from my COVID break, like they were just coming up to me, hugging me. They were like, we're so proud of you. So it's like a big family now. We have that fan base there that always come. And I do get family and friends that come here and there to watch. So hopefully it gets bigger. Hopefully with my thing dropping, it gets bigger as well. Like that's what it is. But it's kind of where I'm working with FWA. FWA is working with me. It's cool.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
fun. Yeah.
You know, and it really sees that, you know, the shows that you guys have had, like I missed the last one, but, you know, bringing in the guys from Melbourne, that show looks absolutely amazing that you guys put on, and I'm spewing that I missed it. But as far as now, like, you know, you mentioned a couple of times you got something dropping in the next month, which is going to be major. And I want to be respectful of it by not delving too deep into it. But is this going to be seeing something of where you're going to be going and wrestling abroad?
It's actually, I don't know. It could be. It's not wrestling related, but I turned it into something that could relate to wrestling.
That's the worker in you, man. Good stuff. That is the worker. I like it.
Like I got this opportunity and I turned it into something bigger than what like it could have been. Or like what? Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I do. I get it. I get it. It's good to see that there's a worker in this country, man. That's awesome. But you know, as far as like, you know, what you foresee for, you know, the rest of 2021, you know, where do you see, you know, your career really going from here? Like, do you plan to try and get it to as many interstate matches as possible, like trying to travel around Australia? You know, we've just been told the travel borders are slowly starting to open up as well. You know, is there an international trip that you could see yourself getting on at some stage this year?
See, I'd love to, but like I'm not rushing myself into anything. There's still a pandemic going on.
Sure.
So I still have my own agenda. I'm like working on my own goals, but if opportunities approach me, I'm not going to decline them.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
They're just not aggressively, it's not aggressively going to try and sort them out.
Yeah. So I kind of have like things coming out, and I believe once they do come out, I will get opportunities thrown at me. So that's what I'm hoping for. I'm training hard behind the scenes. I haven't been posting too much content only because I'll spill my mouth. So I'm just like off social medias for a bit. But yeah.
Just one of those people that can't keep a secret.
I know. So bad.
So Kyle Lead just wants to know any plans on wrestling in Newey Pro.
I don't think I've wrestled in Euro Pro since I first started, but nothing planned yet.
Nothing
So
planned.
That's a no.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you're just wanting to stay pretty local with wrestling for the time being until, you know, obviously something more substantial sort of comes up. Yeah.
Yeah, just building my own agenda, working behind the scenes.
I love it. I love it. I love it. The worker in you is awesome.
Oh no, but I just built myself.
No, you didn't at all. So Joel's after merch as well. So there you go. Maybe you can.
Joel, I'm not famous enough to have merch yet.
You don't have a merch store yet?
No, I've got posters, but you know, I contacted someone, so something will drop soon.
Oh, fingers crossed. Hopefully, you definitely see something dropping soon. But
I had some,
you know,
I had some Lucifer inspiration for it too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you know how there's like Lucifer, but the U is like his thorns.
Yeah.
And then I'm like X, so I'm like gonna do the X as my thorns. I don't know. We'll see what it looks like.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah. There you go, Joel. You'll be able to get your Xena merch very soon with Lucifer inspired thorns and X's. So
yeah, I don't know what it's gonna look like, but yeah.
So, you know, in the Australian scene at the moment, who is the one person that you would really want to have a match with that you haven't been in the ring with?
I always think about this when I'm like showering or like just eating. Well, told Royce. I told Royce Chambers, I'm like, when I learn how to flip, I want to wrestle you.
He's amazing.
Yeah, he's really good. Yeah,
He's amazing.
yeah. Say Royce Chambers.
His name comes up a lot on this show when I ask that.
Oh, does
a very
it?
similar question.
Oh,
yeah, there's a lot of people that like he's like public enemy number one. Like I feel like people just want to take like. I feel like people just want to punch this guy in the face. I don't know why. He's a lovely guy.
He's really nice, yeah.
But who would okay, so in Australia, and what about internationally? If you could have like if you get a magic plane ticket to anywhere in the world to a wrestling event to wrestle anyone anywhere, who would it be?
I would love to have a singles match with Miss Tessa Blanchard.
You know what? I could see that would be a pretty cool actual match as far as like stylistically wise. That would. But she's been out in this country before, right? Like,
I can't remember if it was a three-way or four-way, but I was chucked in a three-way or four-way with her, and I think that was like my third match or fourth match.
Wow.
And I'm like, yeah.
Actually, I saw that match not long ago.
So
how are the I didn't know it was your like third or fourth match in, but how were the nerves going into that, going up against like Tessa fucking Blanchard?
She was like very nice and comforting. She was like, "You got this, like, you know, I got you, like, we're good." She like comforted me, so I wasn't like too like all over the place, but it was a good experience. And like when I watched it back, I was like so fucking like proud of myself because I didn't fuck up anything, and it looked sick. So. Yeah, a couple of years down the line, I'd love a singles match with her now. And I get told that I look like her, so I don't know. Maybe we can do a switcheroo on our geese for a bit.
There you go. Maybe you could do like a twins gimmick with Tessa Blanchard. It's possible. I was actually gonna say I can see the resemblance between you and Tessa, but yeah, I remember I saw that match not long ago. And I had no idea that you were so green in that match, and it was really good. I liked it.
I surprised myself too.
No, I wasn't surprised. I was surprised when you said that it was your third or fourth match because I was like,
"Oh no, I meant like when I watched it back, I surprised myself too." Like sometimes you just need to take a deep breath and chill, and like go with the flow.
That can probably be the big, as we said before, is like the nerves that build up. And it's like, before that match, like before you actually went and spoke to her, like, were you just like shaking, like going, holy fuck? Like, what was going through your mind?
Before the match, it was more of what, like, I've heard from people, like, with their experiences, but I was like judging people on like my experience with them. So I just approached her normally. I'm like, hey, but it was more like, do I hug you or like shake your hand? Because we girls, we just hug sometimes automatically. But yeah, she was lovely.
And and that's the thing, like with her, like there's been so much said about Tessa, and it's like I've spoken to quite a few people that have been around her and worked with her.
Yeah.
And I've really heard mixed reactions of people that really praise her and then people that just fucking bury her. And it's like, it's such a surprise, like, on how there's such a split when it comes to her. But I think that also that split comes when you were just so fucking good that there's always going to be haters. There's always going to be people that try and just sort of push that down and bury it. And it's a sad world, but that's just how it is. There's haters that just can't help themselves.
People are hating her, like, good for them. That's their opinion, but they can't disregard that she's like one of the best female wrestlers right now. Because she puts in the work. She puts in the fucking work. She looks like a wrestler. She like fights like a wrestler. She is like goals for me.
You know what? It's funny. Like I was talking to a friend of mine and I said, like, if she could go, if any company needs someone like her, it would be like an AEW where like, I feel like their women's division just lacks. Whereas like you have a star like that, you could build that division around her.
Yeah. She's that wrestler that can work wherever she goes. That's what I was saying before with like Stardom. I want to be that wrestler that can work in any company with any worker. So I just want to, Tessa's fucking hot as well. She's cool. She can wrestle. She's hot.
Oh, no, there's definitely no doubt. And, I think as well, like I said, for someone like her to then go to a major promotion and take their top strap as well, where they're like, because that was a big move in itself for a major company to take that. And I think that you know how it ended with her and them. Like I was like, oh, you know, I think they could have. She deserved more from that. You know, that title reign to really cement that legacy. But I think wherever she'll end up, she's going to do some amazing work. So
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
I'd love to see her in Australia facing off against you. I think that would be, you know, put the FWA women's title on the line and face Tessa Blanchard. That'd be the match to see.
Is 5-Star Flash watching this?
He actually is. Fivey, bro. Make the match. Make the match.
You mean tag team?
No, he was talking about the match before, like it was a tag team match that you had.
That's that explains it. Yeah.
Fivey, if you're watching, let us know if the match is going to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think she's enjoying her holidays right now in Mexico.
the 2-year holiday, yeah, it'd be amazing to have, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, how you been? Oh, I've just been on holidays for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Never mind. But as we start just to wrapping up, we are going to get into 60 seconds with Piers. Xena has been warned about this. We are going to get into it. Xena, are you ready to give it a good old crack? Okay, so we're just going to bring it up right now. Okay, so we're going to go 60 seconds with Piers. My clock has just gone out weird. 1 second. There you go. All right, so when you are ready, let me know and we can get this started.
All right. Oh, all right, go.
All right. Roller coasters, love them or hate them?
Love them.
What law would you change in Australia?
Death penalty. I bring it back.
Okay. If you come with a warning label, what would it say?
Thick but rude.
Name 5 things sitting in front of you.
Protein shake, AirPods, laptop, phone, ring light, fan.
What languages do you speak besides English?
I know some Bollywood, Indian.
Worst job you ever had?
Worst job. Oh my God, I was that annoying person that stops people in the middle of the shopping centers, but that was for one day and I quit.
Snapchat or TikTok?
TikTok.
Favorite song to sing in the car?
Wicked Games.
Favorite karaoke song?
Oh, Veronica's Untouched.
Most embarrassing moment from school?
School. Oh, I was a loser in school. I was an emo.
Time. I was a loser in school. I was an emo. Now I want to see teenage photos of Xena with like a romance shirt on.
Oh, wait. I wasn't even like emo, but I was like, I kept to myself, so I didn't have any friends.
Oh,
This
you were the
isn't a
Nigel
sad
emo.
story. This isn't a sad story. This is a good story.
You prefer to just stick to yourself. It's like, no, we're just going to stay here. That's fine. But Xena, where can everyone follow you and find you on social media?
Oh, am I reading out my... So Instagram is _Xena.k. We've got some TikTok videos that I want to shoot later on. I think that's Xena Catcher. I think that's like my shoot name. And on Twitter, Xena Pro.
There you go, guys. Make sure you head over and follow Xena. Make sure you keep an eye out. We got some upcoming shows coming. I've got another episode of Shooting the Shit, which will be going live tomorrow night with Smacks, who's the owner of the new promotion in Victoria called 6 Below Fight Club. So make sure you tune into that. And also make sure you tune in for ECW Original Angel, the Kingpin Angel Show, Killing the Business, live at 10 a.m. every Saturday. Guys, thank you also to our sponsors. Xena, thank you for being a guest on the show. It's been absolutely amazing having you on. And we'd love to absolutely get you on again very soon.
Oh my God, can we? Maybe in a month when that thing comes out.
100%. You name it, we can get you back on anytime. So.
Oh my God, I'm such an opportunist. Wow.
That's it. That's the worker in you. Work it. Work it. Everyone else, thank you very much for tuning in. This has been Shooting the Shit Uncensored. I am the Bald, the Beard, the Beautiful, and we will catch you very soon. See you later, guys.